Welcome yourselves to Sicilian Gooner TV transfer talk. And listen, transfer window opens today. The Euro starts today. And listen, there's a lot of talk going around across many different clubs. I'm going to touch on a few of the stories that are currently in the works. Apparently, not many of these are concrete. Some of them are, some of them ain't, some of them hopeful, some of them maybe not so hopeful. But let's crack on. Let's start with Arsenal's goalkeeper situation. Now, we know that Arsenal have made it abundantly clear that Aaron Ramsdale is not part of the future plans at the club. And Arteta don't really see him as the future of Arsenal anymore, which to a lot of Arsenal fans was a bit crazy when we signed him that first season. A lot of people thought, well, this is the guy. We've now got a keeper that's going to be there for a long time, maybe like a Seaman. But it don't seem to be the case. We've bought in Raya now. That signing is complete. It's not, I don't think it's completely complete, but we all know it's complete. But we're talking about the second goalie today, and we're talking about Lunin from Real Madrid. Now, we're being heavily linked to this guy. To me, this seems like a really weird transfer. Because he's currently the backup at Real Madrid, and he's going to leave Real Madrid as the backup to be the backup at Arsenal. Now, does this make sense? Not really. Like, let's be honest. I love Arsenal. We're a massive club, but let's be honest, we're not Real Madrid. And if you had to be a backup and you're a backup at Madrid, why would you go to Arsenal to be a backup, if we're being frank? But listen, the links are there. Apparently, he's had a bust up with Ancelotti because Ancelotti didn't play him in the final. And I feel a bit sorry for him not playing in the final, to be honest, because he got him all the way there. And you can understand both sides of the argument. Now, he wants to play because he played the whole competition, and the final he didn't get to play. And Ancelotti wants to play the best team possible in the final. But Lunin to Arsenal, listen, I'll take him 100% as a backup option. Who knows? He's a backup that can push Raya and make Raya know he can't slip up. Do I think this is going to happen? I'm not too sure. I'm 50-50 with it right now. I've seen links to Szczesny and stuff like this as well. Szczesny seems more logical, more of a second choice. He's older. Not that I'd necessarily be over the moon at us bringing him back, but I do like Wojciech Szczesny. But yeah, listen, Lunin, he's being linked. There haven't really been any talk about prices or anything like that regarding Lunin, but the links are there, so we have to talk about it. Do you know what I mean? Moving on from Lunin, a player that we have been linked with over the past few days is he goes by the name of Victor Osimhen or Osimhen. Listen, Arsenal are seriously looking at him. Apparently, our team Arsenal have started speaking to his representatives about the possibility of the move. Now, will this happen? I don't think this will happen with the amount they are asking for. Osimhen to Arsenal will not happen, in my opinion, if it's for the release clause price of, I think it ends up being like 130 euros. It ends up being about 100 million pounds, 100 and something million pounds. I don't see this happening, but apparently Arsenal have gone in and they're willing to spend about 90 million euros, which ends up being about 75 million pounds. Now, for 75 million pounds, I'll be honest, you take Osimhen. Yeah, I think he'll be great for the club. I personally like him. I know a lot of people aren't fans. A lot of people don't like his injury history. A lot of people think that he's never scored that many goals. He's only had one season where he's got 20 plus goals. But the Italian league is actually quite a defensive league, and he's not been in the greatest team. Now, yes, maybe he should have more goals, definitely for the price tag they're asking for. But I think you put Osimhen in this team, I think he bags goals personally. Listen, big up T every time, my boy T. Shout out. I'm not sure how he feels about Osimhen. I think he's a bit of a fan of Osimhen. I don't know if he'd choose to sign him, but listen, for me, I'd sign him, and I think he's the caliber of guy we need up front. It's him or Gyökeres for me, of people that are available. To me, really, I would love Isak, but I don't see him being available. I don't think Newcastle are going to be selling him. So, and even if they are selling him, you're talking about 150 plus million. Look, T saying he'd gladly take Osimhen. See, this is what I mean. This is the sort of signing that gets Arsenal fans out of their seat. This is the sort of signing that makes other people think, "Oh crap, these guys they scored the most goals they've ever scored in the league last season. Went neck and neck with City, and now they're bringing Osimhen in." Like this is what that signing does for the club. We need, as T saying, we need a killer. We need a killer, and I think he suits us in many different ways. I think he suits our style. I think he can get involved more in play and build up and stuff like that. He's also fast, and I think that's something that Arsenal have lacked massively over the past 2 seasons. We haven't got that really, really fast player that can come in and to be honest, just get us in counter attacks, because there's so many times we're getting low blocked and then the team comes onto us and like we get the ball away and the pace just kills us. We haven't got that guy. It shows why Arteta wanted Mykhailo Mudryk when we were linked to him. Not that it might have been the greatest signing, but that pace that he has is something that we are lacking in this team, and I think Osimhen brings that. Talking of pace, another player we've been linked with over the past few days, which I'm very, very happy about, and that is Nico Williams, the young guy from Bilbao. He's only 21 years old. He's going to turn 22 in July, so he's not super young. He ain't like one of these 20-year-olds. He's got a bit about him. I think he's quality. Nico Williams for me would be a great signing. I think the release clause is 50 million euros or something like that. It will end up being like something stupid like 46 million pounds. Now, 46 million pounds for a winger with the ceiling of Nico Williams and the qualities that he'd bring is a steal. We've got to remember what the window is right now. 45 million on a player. Normally, you're not really getting a player of that caliber, and I think this guy is serious. He is said to want Barcelona. There is that side of it. I don't know how true it is. I've read rumors and speculation that he's apparently willing to wait for Barcelona. But this could, listen, when a player says this, sometimes it's agent talk to get Arsenal to move. You know, we don't actually know if that's the truth. Yeah, it might be his agent putting that out there because then Arsenal go, if Barcelona come in, like, let's try and get this done quick. You know, so listen, I'd take him all day long. I think it'd be quality for us. And I think if you brought in Nico Williams and Osimhen to our attack now, all of a sudden the depth in that attack is unreal. Sell Eddie Nketiah, sell Reece Nelson, they're the two replacements. Boom. And T saying it, we'll never know if we don't bid for the player. And it's true. You've got to put the bid in. You've got to try and get the player in. And then the thing is, this is what fans ask for. Definitely Arsenal fans, go for the player. No Arsenal fan was actually too annoyed. We were annoyed that we didn't get Mykhailo Mudryk. A lot of fans, not all fans. I was happy because the money that was being spent for him was ridiculous. But there was fans that were upset about it. But because they see Arsenal bidding for him and going for it, and it ended up being that Chelsea just outpriced us, and it was a ridiculous amount they paid for him. The fans didn't really get annoyed. I think the Arsenal fans get more annoyed when we see these deals go through and stuff, and our team hasn't even bid for them, hasn't even tried. If you try and then the player don't come to you, there's not really much you can get angry with the club. Vlahovic is a prime example. Vlahovic, I was actually a guy that at the time really wanted him, and I was gutted that we didn't get him. But I wasn't annoyed at Arsenal because he said he wasn't answering our calls. He didn't want us. He wanted Juve, and that was that. So for me, that's all we asked for is Arsenal to go for these players. And Nico Williams would be absolutely marvelous. Now, there's been a few links of players leaving Arsenal. Kieran Tierney for one, 10 million for Kieran Tierney. I think we're getting robbed. I think it's disgraceful how we are only getting offered, or if we accept 10 million for Tierney. It's really annoying. Yeah. Now, for me, if we've got to accept 10 million, it's got to be abroad. If you accept 10 million, that's if he wants to go back to Celtic and we offer, listen, T saying it, 10 mil is criminal. I agree. 10 million for Kieran Tierney is criminal. Now, if he goes back to Celtic and we accept 10 million and we just want him, like we just want to let him go, we want to bring in some money, it will still be annoying, 10 million, and we know how crap we are at selling players, but I'll accept that. If we sell him to Aston Villa, Newcastle, a team like this in the Premier League for 10 million, I'll be pissed. I will be pissed because none of these teams would sell us a player at a deal like that. We'll never get any. Sorry, there was just something flying in front of the camera. We would never get a player like that Kieran Tierney for 10 million. Another player linked with a move away is Reece Nelson. Apparently today he's come out and said he wants to weigh up his options. Good riddance, goodbye, God bless. Thank you for your service. Thank you for that moment that meant nothing against Bournemouth. Listen, I don't mind Reece Nelson. I don't hate on Reece Nelson. He's actually one I actually like. The next guy we'll get on, we're not even going to get onto him because he ain't been linked, but Eddie Nketiah, I just haven't got any time for him. I don't know. I just don't resonate with Eddie Nketiah, so good riddance. I resonate with Reece Nelson, but he's just not up to standard of what we want to be doing. He's not the sort of player that's in the team of someone who's going to win the league. I think if we sold him to a Palace, look, they're going to be hungry for a few players if they lose Elise and stuff. I think he'd suit Palace. If they want to give us 20 million for Reece Nelson, they can have him. I think he'll thrive under a team like Crystal Palace. I think he'll play well against a team that ain't up against the low block every week. I think that's the sort of player he is. I just don't think he's up to the standard of Arsenal now. He's up to the standard of Arsenal 4 seasons ago when we're battling to just about try to get to Champions League. Look, Reece Nelson, I like you, but brother, it's time to go. It's time to go. Sorry, Reece Nelson, but for me, see you later. Another player being linked with a move away is Thomas Partey. Apparently, Saudi Arabia have offered not Saudi Arabia, the country, but a team from the Saudi League have offered about 25 million to 30 million for Thomas Partey. Now, Thomas Partey is a sore subject because we all know, and we can all agree, that if you get a fully fit Thomas Partey, there ain't too many better in the league. And I'll be honest, but when do we get a fully fit Thomas Partey? Last season, he was a liability for most of the season. I generally believe that we brought Declan Rice in to be the 8 alongside Partey, and you see towards the end of the season why that worked so well and why that would have been so much better if we had had that all season. But Thomas Partey, and it's not just last season. The season before that, he was fit most of the season, but the seasons before that, he was injured a lot. And I think it's about time we say goodbye. And listen, if we could get 25 to 30 million for him from Saudi, that's great to add to the fund to bring in another 6 into the team and have a guy that's fully fit that can be there all the time. I like Thomas Partey. If you could guarantee me him fit all next season, I'd be saying no way selling him. But he's also getting towards the end of his contract. And we need to make some money on him before the end of his contract, in my opinion. Because if we don't, then another player goes for nothing. Another player goes for pennies. And we're in this same circle. We have to make some money somewhere. So listen, Thomas Partey, if we could get 25 to 30 million, as long as we are replacing him, I'm happy to let him go. I'm not happy to let him go because I do like Partey and I've got a lot of stock. I had a lot of stocks in Partey, but listen, the injuries speak for themselves, and we need a fully fit player in and around our starting 11. I wouldn't mind keeping him if we signed another midfielder or two and we kept Thomas Partey. I wouldn't be angry. I wouldn't be not like if we kept Eddie Nketiah. If we kept Eddie Nketiah, I'll be pulling my hair out. I'll be punching myself in the face, you know, like that when that guy goes crazy in that meme and he starts just banging himself in the face, and people are like, what the fuck is this guy doing? That'd be me if we keep Eddie Nketiah next season. Another player linked with a move away, apparently got shut down straight away, and that is Martinelli. Apparently a bid came in from PSG and we rapidly declined it. Now, I'm reading rumors of 100 million. I really highly doubt that they bid 100 million for him. If 100 million bid did come in, it would be one that would have to be looked at. I personally, it's hard to say I wouldn't take 100 million for Martinelli going off last season and stuff, but I really like Martinelli, and I am happily willing to give him another season, even if the 100 million offer comes in. I thought not last season, the season before. I think that he was phenomenal. He was probably one of our best, if not our best player. 14 goals in the league. He was a top scorer joint with Saka. And I think he was phenomenal last season. He got a few weird little injuries at weird times in the season, and I think the left-hand side was a bit weak last season, and I think that sort of affected him. Next season, for me, you've got to give Martinelli another season because I think there is a real player, and on his day, he's unplayable, and he's that guy that for me, we've got to give him another season. 100% give this boy another season because for me, for me, there's someone in there. There's a player in there with Martinelli. And so I'd keep him for another year. And then if at the end of next year, he's still not flattering to deceive, then maybe we can look at selling him. But I wouldn't sell him right now. But if 100 million came in, sometimes you'd have to say, maybe we do let him go. If an adequate top quality replacement was coming in for him, if we were getting 100 million for him and we're bringing in a Rafael Leao or something like that, maybe that could make a few fans say, maybe we do this, maybe we do this. But I don't think, for me, I think we give Martinelli another season. I do want to see him with Timber left back, if Timber plays left back, or if we bring in an actual left back in this window to play with him. This is another thing that I would love to see. So for me, Martinelli stays for another season. Now, there's been other little links. There's been the links with Joel Neves and stuff like this. Now, there's no concrete evidence to say we're actually going for Joel Neves. It's just paper talk. There was Gyökeres news today. It looks like we've been just piled on with every player and every signing and every striker. I think that's all a load of rubbish. But Neves is linked with a move to Liverpool as well. Liverpool look like they really want him. He would be a great player for Liverpool, in my opinion. I wouldn't want him to go to Liverpool. I really wouldn't. But yeah, nothing concrete yet, but they are looking. And Elise is hitting up the headlines right now. Everyone wants a bit of Elise right now. Apparently, Manchester United want him, Chelsea want him, Newcastle want him, Bayern Munich want him. All these teams want him. But it does look like he's going Chelsea. They do look like the favourites. They do look like the front runners in the race. I think that Newcastle are out of the race because not that they can't pay for him. I just believe that he himself will just rule Newcastle out. He'll look at all four teams and he'll go, nah, I ain't going Newcastle. The other three teams are just a lot bigger than Newcastle. Bayern Munich, I think you could rule out because I do think he'll stay in the Premier League, but you never know. And then it leaves Manchester United and Chelsea. Chelsea have apparently already agreed personal terms, and we know they agreed personal terms with Elise. Was it last season or the season before that? But he signed an extension with Crystal Palace. So we know that he likes Chelsea. Could he be going to Chelsea? I think that's the most likely destination. But Manchester United are yet to really speak to him, but they're ready in talks with him. So maybe they can sell him the project. If I was advising Elise personally, out of the two teams, I would probably advise him to go to Manchester United because I think you slot straight into that team. You got your slot. I think Manchester United have the whole rebuild going on, the new ownership and all that. So I think in a couple of years, Manchester United could be back again. So I'd advise him to go there, but I do think he'll go to Chelsea. Apart from that, there's not really been much else apart from like Chelsea bidding for Duran, apparently 45 million. They signed the centre-back from Fulham. I can't remember his name. Let me just look this up because I can't remember his name. It's literally gone out of my head. Adebayo on a free transfer. What a signing that is on a free transfer. I actually rate him. He's massive. Chelsea just, I don't know, man. You've got to be envious of Chelsea sometimes, their fans. They get to just watch their team just signing. We know how nice it is when you sign a player. And these Chelsea fans, they get to watch their team just sign player after player after player, money after money after money. No repercussions, nothing whatsoever. They just buy and buy and buy. It's unbelievable. I just don't know how they do it. But listen, Chelsea are the ones flying right now in the transfer window. But let's hope that it heats up for Arsenal. The good thing is the two strikers Arsenal are looking at, Osimhen and also Gyökeres are both not at the Euros, which means that we can get the business done while the Euros is on easier than if they were at the Euros. I know Nico Williams that we're linked to is in the Euros, and he's kind of told his agents, listen, I don't want to hear about anything till I'm back from the Euros and stuff like that. So we'll have to wait and see, to be honest. But listen, guys, that's it for today. Let me know in the comments. Let me know down below what you guys would do in the transfer window. Would you sell Martinelli if £100 million offer coming for him? Would you keep any of the Arsenal players that are linked with moves away? Who would you sign if you were Arsenal? Who do you think our priority target should be? What positions do you think we should be? Let me know all this stuff in the comments below, and I'll be replying like Randy Orton from out of nowhere, if you know what I mean. So listen, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Make sure to enjoy the Euros. The game today, Scotland versus Germany, could be a banger. I think Scotland are going to get ransacked. I think it's going to be like 3-0 to Germany or something like that, but it should be a nice opener. Great game to open. We've got loads of games going on this weekend. I'll be doing a watch along tomorrow night to the Italy game, Italy versus why have I forgot the game? Albania. And then I'll probably do a watch along for England versus Serbia as well. So stay tuned, hit the notification bell, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Eat your pizza, eat your pasta. Remember, Sicilian Gooner is here for you to bring you the transfer news and all that good stuff. Yeah, remember, listen, a lot of England, I support England and Italy when it comes to the Euros. But I know a lot of people are still salty that Italy beat England in the final, the other Euros. But listen, just eat a piece of pizza, eat a bowl of pasta, and all is forgotten because we know Italian food is amazing. Listen, guys, Sicilian Gooner out. Peace.